Welcome back to the Iconic Wealth for Women show. In this series, we're talking all around the role of community in wealth building. We're now coming into segment 2, where we're going to be talking about the different types of community. So what makes or breaks a good community, how it can go in line with your personal brand, and how then obviously we know we've just talked about whether it increases your sales or not. It's a good thing to have, but also how you can actually foster that community as well. Because like we said, we know that not all communities are equal. Some are game changers, others are draining. I was talking to a guy the other day that started his first low ticket community ever, and he within 6 months he's got rid of it. He said it's the biggest drain he's ever had in his business in 6 years, and he said my time is too precious. I will give to the people that give. So we've all had good and bad experiences, I think, in community. So let's discuss in relation to some of these, because we know the power of them, but also let's get into some of the things where maybe it might also go just a little bit wrong. So Samantha, you help in relation to, I know you love talking about actual money numbers, like you're really good with numbers and profits and creating profits. So, but how can we use a community to kind of not just make money? It's like you said, it's not about making the money, but what makes a good community? What makes or breaks a community in your world?
All right, okay, I'll give 3 top tips.
Brilliant, love it.
What makes a good community? 1, people knowing what's going on in there. I think there needs to be a clear plan. So if people come into a community and they don't know what to expect, then 1, not going to stick around, and 2, not actually going to feel like they're being helped. So if you are starting a free community, whether it's on Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever it is, maybe you could start with having your own schedule. You don't necessarily need to say what it is, but if you said I'm going to go live every Tuesday, or there's going to be an article going out every Thursday, or a blog, so everyone that comes into your community has an instant understanding of what's happening there and how you're adding value. Cool. So my first tip is some kind of schedule for you to keep to, but also for your audience to feel like you're helping them, which leads to tip number 2, which is you have to add value first. If you're expecting people to be in a community and there's nothing in there for them, it's not a community, so there needs to be value from you. And again, it could be top tips, it could be like mini interviews, it doesn't have to be long time consuming things, but you do need to have value in there that people can take from it. Mm-hmm. And 3, you need to have an opportunity for people to speak to you. So if you do have a community, but people can't speak to you or get to you, it's not a community. So there would be my 3 things. Think about what you're going to do on a regular basis. Think about how you can add value, which therefore then shows you as an authority, but also as a solution and a help for them. And make sure you have a way that people can actually speak to you, like tag you, and you will respond.
I feel validated.
Is that what your community is?
I do all of those things.
Yeah. Okay. So I've just lost my train of thought now.
Cut the episode.
Cut the episode. It's done. So in relation to that though, so in relation to kind of a topic or a theme around a community. So if someone's looking at maybe building a community around their business and things like that, how do you know if you've got the right sort of style of community, I guess?
Well, you don't at the start, but that's the whole point. So no one has any idea when they first start if it's the right type of people. But the only way you're going to know that is by point number 3, a way people can speak to you. Because if you find, let's just say you were talking about how to make passive income, and everyone in your community is like, what is that? I'm not ready for that. I don't have a community yet. Then you very quickly realise from their reception, that's not where they're at. So the only way you're going to know if your community is ready for what you offer or aligned with where you want to go is by actually talking to them and giving them a chance to talk back. Mm-hmm. So you have to go first. You have to lead first. If you want to create a safe space in a community, you have to be willing to try and test things and take risks. Mm-hmm. And then if they do come back and go, oh my gosh, that was amazing, can we have more on that, this was great, I need more on this, can we have a replay, I need part 2, I need part 25, brilliant, that's your sweet spot. So swings and roundabouts. So be flexible, grow with your community, test things,
listen to them, test,
make a list of 10 things you want to talk about, 1 a week, and then within 10 weeks people have spoken to you, you've got within 3 months you've got your top 5 and your bottom 5, and then you can just rotate the top 5 and pad them out and get rid of the bottom 5.
And develop an app. Brilliant. Good stuff. Hello. Laura, tell us what you think about what makes or breaks a good community.
I think definitely the tone and the vibe that's set from the host up first. So you have to create a space where
That's just because you're really bubbly and vibrant, isn't it?
Do you know what? You don't have to be clones of the host, do you? So we're so fortunate. And my husband, who is in business with me, is the complete opposite to me. But that works so well. But it's that whole psychological contract and safety, isn't it? Especially when a lot of things are online. If you're asking people to say like, oh, what doesn't make sense about this? Where are you stuck? Or where do you need help on? They need to feel safe for you for them to share that, don't they?
Yep.
So definitely setting the tone from the host as well. And it's also being more diligent and picky about who you allow into your community.
Right.
Now this is interesting because obviously we're not even experimenting with this. We've got an open door policy for the Super Connector because it's free. Touch wood, we've not had any freaks, I'm just going to say the word, in the sense of
knobs.
Knobs, seriously is
Yeah.
word. But also what we do is we make sure on the landing page where you sign up, these are the expectations. And then we also reiterate that. So when I start the call, I've got a slide now and I just say, just in case you haven't been here before, because we still get so many people that are brand new every week.
Yeah.
We say, look, it's not about being like spammy pammy. It's not about making sure that it's all about your agenda. We have to give as much as we get. So definitely making sure that you're clear on what the boundaries are and what the expectations are too. And do you know what? I couldn't even add any more from Sam's brilliant answer. It's giving value.
Yep.
It's making sure that you're nimble and you're responsive and you're never arrogant enough to think that you know best on everything. So we crowdsource a lot, just like Leah does as well with your really vast, diverse community. It's, so-and-so's the expert on this or so-and-so's that. And also, I'm just going to be honest, of late, with this cohort that we've got, and I talked to the ladies yesterday in our group call, Jeff and I have used chat more so than ever.
Yep.
But we talk to them about it and we say, we would never lie and go like, oh yeah, we've just come up with this really comprehensive answer ourselves. But also what we want to do is to empower and educate our women so that they know how to use it and ask the right questions. And then anything that they can't cover in that, or it's about the execution, we can support them with. So I think the speed at which technology is changing, as well as just all the stuff that's going on in the macro environment with politics and with society, you've got to keep your ear to the ground. And the way you do that is by being present and active and visible. And then you can tweak as you need to go along.
Brilliant. I was going to ask you, we'll bring in AI, I think, in relation to building communities out. So Leah, in relation to that, so since we've covered kind of what is a good maybe relationship and a community, what do you think, where does it all go wrong?
When it comes to especially a paid community, if you I've got a tech team, so I have two tech people who are on it. So if someone can't log in, we've got an email address they can email, and within 24 hours, our tech team will be on it. Apart from weekends, obviously, they're not expected to work on weekends, but we are really responsive to problems, and we have like a dedicated chat channel. So if they're having any tech issues, the team can go in there and just offer like a bit of advice there. So I think especially when you're offering a paid community, people have certain expectations and you can't give them a week without being able to access the thing that they're paying for. So I think that's a really important part of it. If you do not have that, you can't do it all yourself. Like especially if you've got like 50, 100 members, and we can't rely, like I love my members very much, but the amount of times people are trying to sign in with the wrong email address and then they're emailing and saying, I can't get in. Well, yeah, that's not the email address that you signed up with. Or why am I still getting emails? You signed up to the waiting list with a different email than you signed up to the community. So the automation doesn't know you're the same person. So we get all sorts of problems, payment issues, things like that. So having people that can be responsive and that's their dedicated job, I think is really important. It's that quality of delivery. And I think people stagnate as well. That's another thing that goes wrong. Your community needs to be constantly innovating and providing new things. Otherwise people get bored. So we're like, when it comes time to sourcing masterclasses, I go into the community and say, what are the things that you're looking for at the moment? And then other people will like different comments, so I know which ones are the most popular. Then I go and source those people, find great referrals for it, find recommendations from people in the community. So I think those are really important. But I think more than anything, as the leader of a community, and I mean a community, not a membership, you need to be fostering interactions and relationship building between the members, because it cannot just be you. I can't spread myself so that I can pay attention and have personal conversations with 600 people a week. But they all know that because they're part of the Holt, if they reach out to one of the other members and say, hey, I've got this issue, I'm a Holt member too, could you help me? Or they pop something in the advice and questions channel, they will get someone who volunteers and they want to help them because they're a fellow member. And they know that if that person ever needs advice, they'll get the support they need as well. So I think that's a real difference. And I see so many people starting, and I don't describe them as communities, I say they're memberships. If the only relationship is between you and the member, and the members aren't creating relationships with one another, that's not a community.
You'll give up. Yeah, that's when it gets hard, doesn't it? Because then it's all on your shoulders as well. It's like...
And they don't want to
you
leave.
want them to be supported.
Because they feel like they've built this support network of people that is more than just me, more than just who I am and what I can offer. And they don't want to leave. Like they don't want to leave because they feel like part of something bigger. And I don't think they create that feeling if it's just about me.
It's a dictatorship if it's just you. You know, people have communities where they have post approval on, let's say a paid membership, post approval on, you can only post on certain days, I'll only reply on certain days. It becomes very one dimensional. So what you're saying is they could end up with best friends in there. They could meet each other, they could WhatsApp, exactly.
Massively.
So
I only see a tip of the iceberg of what happens at the community. And then I'll go to, like, you've been to my Christmas parties, and I come to my Christmas parties and people walk in, they go, oh my God, I had no idea you were a member. And they're all over each other, they're having fun together, they're singing karaoke together, they're then going on and creating business opportunities together. And everything for us is built on those personal relationships, friendships and shared values first, and then everything else comes next. And I think that's probably why it works. And I didn't go into it to make loads of money. It was
to foster the community.
But it's obviously gone on to be a very nice recurring income that I've decided to sack off the LinkedIn training. but it's because of the people. But
again, why not? Because you're enjoying it and you care and you're fostering that community.
Can I add to that as well?
Yeah, of course,
I think you've got to be really honest about your need for control as the host and also about your ego unchecked. Because I've heard nightmare stories about somebody wanting to leave a community when their time was done. It was segmented by duration when they joined. Put a post on there saying they've had the most fabulous time, hope we can keep in touch with everybody. And the host took that down. And that in itself blew up because that sent a signal of, oh, you can't talk about leaving. But what does that mean? It's you need to celebrate people and say, I'm so grateful we were part, even a small part of your journey. The door's always open to you. We wish you the best of luck. Everybody go and follow them if you're not already. So I think it can really hold a mirror up when you think about doing your own community because it's not as easy as people make out.
It's not. And one of your jobs as a community leader is to try to create harmony between 600, well, for me, 600 different personalities, and there can be conflicts. And we had one particular person that, similar to what you were saying, she posted something in one of the channels as a rant, but it was attacking people and being really negative about the community for no valid reason. And it ended up with her the post was removed and she was asked to reword it because she was attacking other members in the community and criticising them, which was not the way to handle it. So we said, we're happy for you to post about the subject, but we can't have you attacking other members. And then she got really rude with one of the team, and I just went out, they're out, full refund, fuck off.
2 strikes.
But again, because it becomes it's like a business, really, isn't it? It's your network, it's your culture, it's your community. You're fostering that, so you need to control some of that.
Toxicity
we're
not
all
welcome.
adults as well. We don't want, we're all adults, and not everyone gets on with everyone. But if someone's going to function like that, I think the other thing, to follow on from your point about the control, the other thing is people get very scared to feel like they're losing money. So rather than deal with that and say, you know what, you don't align with my values, I'll appease you, people please, because I don't want to lose that person's recurring revenue. You end up with a community that's filled with misaligned members. You're not happy. You feel like you're bending over backwards and breaking your boundaries for an extra X amount a month.
And it alienates other members as well.
So you have to be...
It's leading by example, isn't it?
Sure.
It's showcasing what they can get away with.
And that's
a
really good. It's a really good point on what you're saying about a bad community. I think that is one of the things, like, do not put your profit over having the right people, because that's something that we've never done. I've never said that person can stay if they're badly behaved, because I'm like, I don't want you in the community because you're a bad apple and you're going to spoil the whole and you have to really be strong on those values and stand up for the greater good of the community and focus on creating the best experience for the existing members, not just constantly chasing new members, and that's something we do. Like, I've got over 1,000 people on the waiting list. We let 25 people in a month, which is painful when you think about how much money, but imagine the quality of experience for the people in there if we suddenly let 1,000 people flood it. So we wouldn't, obviously they're not all going to join, but I prioritize the existing members, not the possible members.
I think that's so important though, because a lot of the times with sales, everyone's chasing the next client, so they're not actually nurturing and delivering to their existing clients. And I think that's really, really powerful. And it's a hard balancing act when you're getting started. We all know that when we got started, it's like, how do you balance it when you need the money? We've all taken clients when we first got started that we wish we'd never worked with. So we've all been there in that regard. But again, these are best practices in relation to how you can do it. So let's briefly talk about the kind of features of a community. So what actually constitute and makes up a community?
Yeah, great question. I think the most, people.
And that's besides the people.
So, and again, to reiterate something we spoke about in segment 1, the people are the heartbeat of your business. So the number one focus for a community, a successful community, is the people. You can't not have the right people in your community, or you don't have one. So that's the most important thing, the aligned people. 2 is, I would say, substance is really important in a community. There needs to be substance. So at the beginning, especially when you're growing a community at the start, you are going to have to orchestrate conversations to get people to engage, right? And you're going to have to be part of that, the fuel in the engine.
You've got to kind of light the flames, don't you?
Because people aren't going to put themselves out there when they haven't seen why, or you do it first. So I would say near the beginning, if you're trying to create a successful community, yes, you need people, but you also then need starting points. So you might have, a post once a week that's going to be around your biggest lesson in business this week or something, right? And it's like, I'll go first and you lead the way. So there's going to have to be pointers, as if you were like a networking or you're meeting people the first time, someone's going to have to be like, so what do you do? That basically, or you all just sit there thinking who's going to talk, right? So there needs to be substance. And I would say the third thing, there needs to be a reason for people to come back. And this is where people go wrong. People think that once you've got a follower or you've got a member, job done. That's the first part of the success journey. That's the first bit. Once you've got someone, you have to actively activate them consistently. How do you do that? So what are you going to do to get them to keep coming back, to keep thinking and feeling like you've got something that they need or want from you? So successful community, people first, substance, so there's a reason for them to speak to you and a reason for them to come back. Whether it's free or paid, why are they going to log in? Why are they going to come and speak to you? Why are they going to consume from you? Because also people's rate of consumption is changing. It's much quicker, shorter, much more fickle. So if you want someone to actually spend some time with you and create depth, you are going to have to make sure that there's a reason for them to do that. And you've got, whether it is a 5-minute, a 10-minute, or whatever, an audio, a post, something. Why are they coming back every week? Why are they going to keep paying their subscription? That's the most important question, I would think. If you want to capitalize on creating a positive community, free or paid, the question you need to ask yourself once they're aligned and they're in is, how are you keeping them?
Brilliant. Love that. Laura, do you want to expand on that? What do you think are some of the features? But what are some of the different elements? Like, we know there's different communities. There's paid communities, there's free communities, there's mastermind communities. So what are some of the elements of a community that makes up a community?
It's got to be, what problem is it solving?
Yep.
The primary problem, isn't it? So for a lot of our audiences, it might be, I want to grow my business. I want to earn X amount. I want to have X amount of products and services and so on. So I think education has to be really core in that, because as Sam said, you can just go on Google, listen to a podcast. Like, we're drowning in all the information that's out there, and people are smart, but they need applied learning, and they need you to shortcut their learning and accelerate their results as well. So everything we've said before, I would also include a sprinkle of fun. Obviously, I'm going to say sisterhood, so opportunities. So I do not care if people want to do, I worked with somebody who, I was in a group program and we weren't allowed to have a WhatsApp group outside. We had to have a WhatsApp group that was managed by somebody who was in that person's community. And I just think we need to get real. We're all adults. If people want to go off and message each other, they can do. If they want to organise meetups, they can do. So just, again, with respect to control, obviously you've got to be a smart businesswoman and think from an IP perspective, and you don't want people leaving in droves. But I think just give people, you're the catalyst, aren't you? You're giving them the means to which they can decide how much and how little they want to enjoy the whole experience and make it worthwhile for them.
I love that. But I really love that control element, because I remember when one of my very first times I did a group program, and then they'd started the spin-off group on WhatsApp, and initially my heart went, they don't want me involved. And it was really interesting. So of course I was checking on myself, and I'm like, why am I being triggered by this? And it was a control thing. I was just like, well, I want to hear what they're saying. I want to hear what's going on. And it's like, of course they don't want me looking over their shoulder. They want to talk about their experiences. So again, it's really interesting to always check
You want
on yourself.
adult to adult conversations. We all want to work with adults, don't we?
Exactly.
We don't want to work with adults who are more behaving like children.
That's it.
Who need to be spoon-fed all of the time.
If you want them to trust you, you've got to trust them.
That's it. And that was it.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
I think, I'd expand on what I was saying before about the community fostering. So, like Sam was saying, can I call you Sam, by the way? I'm just chucking a Sam.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that's fine. I was just assuming there. We have automated questions that go out every Monday and every Friday, which are just fun questions. Some of them are like, what are you up to this weekend and what's going on? Or some will be like, what's the most disgusting food combination that you love? Like, some of them are playful, but the comment threads that happen and the exchanges that happen, so many people finding points of commonality. So they can be brilliant. They are so much fun when we do those. And we also like automate and message from me personally. So when they join, they get a 14-minute video from me introducing the team, showing them where everything is and guiding them around it.
Onboarding, it's so important.
I think like 3 or 4 days later, they get a check-in from me, seeing how and it's all written really personally, and I'm there to personally interact and respond to when they reply to the message. And we do that throughout. And I'll just randomly send out an automated message to everybody, and then have the personal conversations that come off the back of that to support people and say, do you need any masterclass recommendations? Is there anyone I can make an intro to? And I'm super heavily involved.
That's great.
That is something that you have to do in communities, because like I say, it's bigger than me, and I want to be able to create that value. And I think that's the kind of thing that keeps people coming back, because they care, they know you care. Like even things like I think I sent one to you when you were in the community. I sent 400 handwritten Christmas cards filled with glitter, which in hindsight was a terrible idea.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant for experiential marketing, and it's like, how can you get mad? It's a handwritten friendly note, but it's filled with fine pink glitter. So everyone's pets were sparkling, their husbands were raging. But I did that, and it was a terrible idea, because I literally sat in bed for about 2 weeks writing Christmas cards every night, and my hand was like claw. But it's those little things, sending them a thank you mug when they've been really valuable contributions, anniversary boxes that we send after 2 years in the community. Those things make a huge difference to how valued those people are. And it shows you that the existing members are super valuable, and we're rewarding loyalty, and we're thanking people and showing I can't have this business and this life without them. So you've got to recognise that.
I know I talk around sales, because obviously I've been in sales for 25 years, but again, it's always the little things. It's like you're walking in here, you're the first guest that's walked in here and bought flowers. You know,
that is sweet.
It is lovely. It's really sweet, and it's like, it is often those little things, but also you're not treating them like a number. And I think in our space, especially in the online space, when we're building lists and building communities, it's very easy. Like I hear it all the time with someone. I did it with a client the other week, and she was like, oh, I got 51 people on my webinar. It was the first one she's done, and 18 showed up and blah blah blah. And I said, brilliant.
That's
and
great.
Like she was panicking. She was going, oh my god, that's like not enough.
Great numbers, whoever you are.
Exactly. And she was like, oh, that's not enough. And I said, but you don't realise. Like I said, go back to your numbers. So we went back to her original numbers, and I said, how many clients do you need this year? And she had all the clients from one webinar.
Wow.
Without doing any other work.
Like this room with 18 people in is snug.
But it was so easy just to see a number. And that was the thing. I said, everyone's conditioned to see a number. It's like you said about you're talking vanity metrics. It's like, oh, I've got another follower. Great, but who cares?
Well, that's
it's
the
like,
thing. People moan that a post has only got 200 impressions, but it's like, but if you stood on a stage in front of 200 people, you'd be like, smash it.
Yeah, exactly. You're so right.
But that's again where perception sometimes just goes wrong. And I love your attention to detail in the fact that every one of those people are a person.
That's why it's
and that's
really
what I always say. It's the person behind it that matters.
That's why it's so important to me when we do get someone, and it's only happened on 3 occasions in the nearly 3 years we've been running it.
Yep.
When someone does behave badly and they're removed, while I don't say who, I tell people very openly on LinkedIn and in the community, this is what has happened. Now, obviously, some of them are going to notice because the chats disappeared if they were having. But I'd never name them, and I don't publicly shame them and bring anything down on their head. But I will let people know because it makes the rest of the members feel safe. I've got your back, and I'm not going to ever take that person's membership fee over your safety and enjoyment.
I was in a WhatsApp group yesterday, and some guy was obviously getting frustrated that he hadn't. I presume his email had gone into spam. Something had happened. But then he started swearing, and he was swearing at the team members. And one of the guys said, show respect straight away. And then the next message was, he's already been taken out. And because there's 400 people in that WhatsApp group, like, we don't want that sort of behaviour. So again, you have to be the one that can actually step up and do that. And it's hard to do sometimes.
And on that point, I just want to go back to something that Laura mentioned about the idea of like controlling like, you know, the WhatsApp groups and things, right? I don't know if people still do, but I used to go to nightclubs when I was like 18. It wasn't a bar, right? Yeah, you didn't go to a bar. It was like everyone just used to go clubbing, right? So imagine you're in a nightclub and the DJ says, okay, everyone, you can only dance on your own to the music. You can't interact, you can't look at anyone, you can only dance.
What a great
and look
analogy.
At me. And the DJ's there like, and what, you've just got lines of people just like not allowed to speak to each other. What makes
Donald Trump was a DJ.
Yeah, exactly. But you know when you think what makes your experience, it is the people, the connections, like, oh, let's go get a drink, oh, let's do this, let's do that. The DJ's still playing and everyone's having a great time. And if you think about yourself in that role, it is impossible to say to people in your community, right, no one can talk unless it's directly to me. That wouldn't work in a nightclub, would it? Everyone would be like, what are we doing here? What's happening?
I always describe a community as like being a conductor of an orchestra. A little bit more highbrow, I suppose. But it is, you're there to guide everything, but they're the ones making the music. And
I was saying this the other day, it's the same as running an event though. Because obviously I've got the next Iconic coming up in June, and I'm just sitting there going, oh, it's great, I'm so excited. And then I was like, I remembered last year and I was like, but I never get to talk to anyone because you're the one orchestrating the event, and it's like everyone else is there to engage and connect and grow, and you're like, I don't even get to speak to half the people
get
there.
So much from you.
But they get so much. Exactly. And again, that's what your role is if you're bringing people together like that.
But see, that's why it's great when we're introverts, because we're conduits. We're the glue that holds everything together, but we're not the ones that have to do all the actual.
Oh, I like that.
I love that.
I don't know, I've decided.
I've lowered the tone of DJs and it's like
conduits. It's the posh side over there.
That's what we are.
I've decided I'm going to be the Oprah of Wales, and I'm going to own that, and I don't care.
I'm here for it.
Right. Okay, we need to keep moving on. So hopefully we've gone into some of the depth around what makes or breaks a really good community, because it's so important. We know it will help you grow no matter what you want to do in your business and your life. Having supporters around you, having a community around you can make life so much easier. So in the next section, we are going to be diving into a little bit more about their stories, because I want to go a little bit deeper around maybe some of the challenges you've had to overcome yourself in relation to growing your business. And then we're going to talk a little bit about tapping into other people's audiences. So going into maybe how you might be able to leverage someone else's audiences, how do collaborations and speaking and things like that work as well. So we're going to see you in the next segment very, very shortly.